Hey everyone, welcome to the first episode of 100 Lives Later. My name is Bryant. I go by Laser BDM.
Hello, and my name is Dustin, and I go by Demo Elite.
Also, don't try and add me on any platforms. I will not add you back.
You can add me.
That's probably true. So this is a little intro podcast, a little talk about what this project is. I decided, much to Dustin's chagrin, is that the right word? No, I'm going to redo that. I'm going to Google it. Chagrin.
You're right.
Happiness. We decided that we're going to play through Metacritic's top 100 games of all time, starting with 100, playing through each one all the way up to number 1, and we would record an episode about each one.
Yep, and this is based on Metacritic's Metascore rating, so it's not just purely user score, it's the actual Metascore combination of, I believe it's user and critic reviews, so it really gives the best gauge of the public's opinion on what the best games are out there. And it's a big list, so this podcast will be long, 100 games across every different platform, but we're excited to do it and get started on it.
Yeah, and I know that it's not like people might complain that, well, it's not the most accurate list of the best games, and like we agree, and I don't think there is like a definitive perfect list. I just thought that I don't know, it's something that's easily accessible to everyone. And I think it's a pretty good list. So I know for me, the goal is I want to beat each game, like, fully. Is that what you're going to do?
Are you saying like completionist 100% or
no, God,
just
no.
Get to the end credits? Because I know on this list there's going to be games where getting to the credits can be a quick venture and kind of got to decide if you want to set a goal for yourself of being a completionist. I know like the first game on our list kind of requires you to be partially a completionist to even get to the ending. So we'll have games like that, but it really comes down to ultimately what you'd like to do. Personally, for me, when it comes to 100% in a game, I only complete a game 100% if I just truly love the game. Like, it's got to be one of my favorite games to do so. So, an example, on PlayStation, I've platinumed or 100%ed every single Spider-Man game that's came out. So, those are games that I love. So, I want to put in the time and respect for the developers to 100% of the game. So, I feel like I want to follow the same path in this venture we're partaking. If there's a game that I just love, I'll work to 100% it. Of course, there are going to be games that I've played before, beat before, so even if I love that game, if I platinumed it before or 100%ed it before, I probably won't do it again in that scenario. But if it's a game I've never played and it turns out that I love it, then I'm going to go ahead and try to 100% it.
Yeah, and I don't think I've ever 100%ed a game, ever. I think I tried with the first Spider-Man. And
I was just saying, it's a lot easier nowadays because they have all the guides online to where they can help you with finding collectibles or doing some difficult task in the game when you get really stuck. I mean, the joy would be to, of course, complete it 100% yourself, but for the sake of time and your own sanity, it may be helpful to use a guide.
Right. Especially, I don't know, like when the older I get, the less of like a hard nose I am for like doing it all on my own completely. I generally tend to not look up guides or anything, but I'm also in my 30s and have a full-time job. So
yeah, and since you share that you're in your 30s, let's give a little background on ourselves. So as I said, my name's Dustin, and that's Bryant. He's my best friend since junior high, maybe even earlier than that. 5th, 6th grade, something like that. So been gaming together for a long time. I remember the years back when we would all meet as a friend group, and Bryant was the cool kid who would bring his Xbox 360 to our Xbox System Link parties because he was, I guess, a baller like that back then. So we'd play Halo System Link until 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, just fueled by just fury of Halo and Mountain Dew. So we've been doing this for a long time. been playing games forever. I'm more of a variety gamer. Like I play everything. There's not a game I won't play, and I'm a lot of sports as well. And I know Bryant, you can speak for yourself, but I know you're not much of a sports gamer, but you do play a little bit of everything too. If you want to kind of talk about what you like to
Yeah.
play.
Yeah, we like you said, we've known each other since forever. It feels like, and I don't know. Our friendship is it's been about a lot of things, but video games have always kind of been there to connect us through a lot of stuff as well. We games that I enjoy. I probably say this too much, but the older I get, the more I like story based games. In high school and stuff, it was very multiplayer competition because that's what all your friends were playing, and so it was really all about that. Because when we were in high school, the online multiplayer, at least for consoles, was like first starting to become a thing. And so, and high speed internet was starting, not to date us more, but high speed internet was starting to like become more mainstream to where people like online gaming wasn't like a nightmare to do. So, yeah, I made a list of some of my favorite games, at least probably more recent because it kind of has recency bias that the games you play more recently you like better than the ones that you played in the past. But Red Dead Redemption 2, I could just get lost in that world. Baldur's Gate 3, Hollow Knight. Did you play Hollow Knight?
I've not played Hollow Knight.
I think it's on this list. It better be on this list.
I'm sure it is.
Bethesda games. I like RPGs, but if it's just a game that I enjoy, it's kind of like movies when people are like, "Well, what's your favorite genre? Or what's your favorite genre of music?" Just as long as it's good. Like I don't care. I don't like to narrow myself to like a window of a genre. But sport, yeah, you're right. Sports games I've never really gotten crazy into. I've played some, but and there's a good amount on the list, so I'm excited to see what that's like.
Yeah, and for the sports games, that's going to be a conversation when we get to those on what considers beating those games. I feel like it's going to have to be a determination of, hey, if we play a full season of a game, does that count as beating it? But it's neither here nor there, but we got to kind of decide how those would be treated for actually beating or completing, or if it's just simply spending 10 hours in the game and just give your honest opinion across different modes. It's going to have to be something like that. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I'll
it'll be
probably
interesting.
lean towards whatever you think.
Well, you don't want to leave it to whatever I think because I'll play too much of these old games that are on this list because there's some awesome old football games and basketball games that I used to play. So,
Yeah,
yeah, for
I'll
my
have to
favorite
start
games, like, what's that?
I was saying I'm gonna have to like start studying football so I can like actually compete.
Yep, there's 11 players on each side.
Okay.
Teach you the rules. No, so for my favorite games, like I had mentioned previously, I am more of a variety player, so like I play a little bit of everything. But I have also, in my older age, shifted more to story-driven games and also really pivoted away from open world games. I just don't have the capacity for open world games, especially if there's a lot of side stuff. There's some exceptions to the rule, like Elden Ring, for instance. I love that game. I 100%ed it on PC and on Xbox, and that's an open world
That's
game.
that's crazy to me. It's
Yeah.
great, like just extremely impressive. But
Yeah, so like Elden Ring, I love that game, but more old school. I mean, I'm a sucker for old Madden games. Gears of War is one of my favorite series of all time. Halo. My favorite RPG series of all time is Assassin's Creed. Also love, if we go like the Nintendo realm, Zelda's Wind Waker is one of my favorite games of all time. It's all over the place, and I'm one of those people. Same when it comes to movies. If I just enjoy I don't care what the critics say. If I enjoy it and love it, that's all that matters to me. So there's games that come to mind that I just love that weren't critically acclaimed, like Technomancer on Xbox 360, I believe, or Xbox One. I love that game. Prototype 1 and 2, they weren't super total games, but I love them. Like I 100% Prototype 2. Brian's looking like, I don't know if I've heard of these games. He's probably looking them up on his computer right now. But like, I love some offshoot games like Dark Sector on Xbox 360. If any of you guys know what game I'm talking about, you had a glaive, like a throwable weapon, almost like a boomerang, that came from his body because he got infected with some disease that made him almost like a super soldier. And it was just so like slapbox button mashing, just fun, and it was just a great game. You could find it in a bin for $1 somewhere at GameStop, but it's just so much fun to play. Like, I don't really hold to the critical acclaim games. I do appreciate some of those high rated games, like Last of Us and Elden Ring and all those games. I still enjoy those, but I find just enjoyment in whatever games just bring me the most fun and excitement. I mean, that's what we play games for, right? To just have a good time and take away from your troubles of real life if you have any.
Yeah, definitely some escapism, and I love the problem solving aspects of it. But then sometimes just not even like just a game you can turn on and not even think about. I love that too. So, well, this has gone on longer than I thought. I also did want to say, just for the record, that we will definitely make mistakes, and we'll probably say the wrong thing, and we'll probably do something wrong, not on purpose. So just get that out of the way. Like, this is just for fun. Like, chill.
Yep.
Yeah, I feel. Do you have anything else you want to add before?
No,
we
I'm
move
just
on?
excited to get started, and I know we're gonna get our first episode out here pretty shortly. The first game on the list of top 100, and like as I mentioned, it is based off the Metascore rating. And how that works is you have a Metascore rating 1 to 100. If there another game has the same rating as that one, they default to the highest user rating associated with that. So that's how we got to number 100 as Super Mario 3D World. Now note this list is ever changing. So when we pulled this list, Super Mario 3D World was number 100. I think it still is today, but it may change as we go through the list. So just be aware of that. For instance, there's a game that just came out, Meta something. It's a anime style game.
Meta Refantasio.
Yeah, Meta Refantasio, whatever it's called. That game just came out a month ago, and it's already on the list of top 100 all time based off of Metascore. So this list is moving. These numbers change.
Refantasio.
So just be aware of that we will adjust accordingly as needed, or work off of our original list, whatever
Yeah,
fits
I think
best.
that once we record number 100, we will then, at the time of the recording, look at the list, be like, all right, the next one is this, which 99 is God of War 2 right now. And then if the list changes, because starting out, our goal is to do one a month. If in our dream world this blows up and it becomes a huge thing, and we can afford to not have full-time jobs, then we can obviously put them out quicker. But for now, just to get things going, one a month, play through a full game. We both have full-time jobs, and I think that's kind of our goal for now. Yeah, I think that's about it.
But yeah, just bear with us. Like I said, we're going to play through the list as best we can. Of course, if we're able to expedite it, because there are games on the list that are like arcade-style games that realistically will take us 4 hours to play through, we may come out with the podcast in a week. You never know. Maybe sooner. You never know how it's going to play out. I mean, it just really depends on the game. And bear in mind, too, like I said, we're not perfect. We're going to try to go through the list the best we can. But there are going to be games that we're going to play out of order. Like Bryant mentioned, number 99 is God of War 2. And we're going to end up playing God of War 1 somewhere in the 70s. So we're going to play games out of order, but really we just want to stay true to the list and give honest feedback. And at the end of every video, every podcast, we're going to give a review rating on what we rated out of 10 based off our own personal gaming scale, and kind of keep a running list throughout the podcast, and then come up with our own list of 100 afterwards based off of our scores. So, it should be interesting.
Yeah. All right, let's get to it.
Let's get to gaming.